So let's start over. So I'm Nadia Sheikh. I am a paper collage artist. I'm a Dark Horse Comics author and artist. I work on this comic for Dark Horse Comics in PGE. I'm also an America's Next Great Author semifinalist 2022, and I teach paper collage under my own business and called Cool Storytellers. And today I'm talking about my school SKOOL community called Cut and Create Paper Collage. And so I will leave a link in the chat about it so that you guys can learn a little bit more so you can sign up. But today I'm going to talk to you a bit more about like my story, about how I started in collage. I'll answer some like frequently asked questions about the challenge, and then if we have some time, which I feel like we will, because the first part of our video is a little bit off, I'll show you the demo, like the free kind of bonus offer that you guys get to sign up because you've never done collage before. It can be a little intimidating. You might not know what to do. So I have this like bonus offer that you guys will love that you can start collaging like right after this kickoff call. All right. So I started collaging in 2023 after a series of like anxiety and depression. Around that time, I was a parking enforcement officer, and I was, if you remember, like that TLC show Parking Wars, it was kind of like that. It wasn't quite as like dramatic. It was more of like you're dealing with all types of dynamics with people, and you get yelled at by just giving somebody a ticket or a warning, but you got to drive around in a cool car, which I love cool cars. I love just cars in general. I grew up like going on road trips a lot with like my family, so I have a thing for cars and just like vehicles. It like things like cars and like travel hold like a big place in like my heart. So I take that job because I was like I get to drive some cool. It was a Hyundai. I get to drive some Hyundais and just like go around the city. That's a whole job. It was cool up until it wasn't, and I dealt with a lot of like harassment and just a lot of intimidation from different people that I gave tickets to. Everyone from like business owners to like city workers to just like people that worked in the area, and it was scary for a long time. After that time, I only worked there for like 7 weeks or 8 weeks. I quit because I was just like, I'm dealing with too much harassment. I'm dealing with too much just being afraid to walk out my house because if I gave somebody like a fire hydrant ticket or a like warning, like a violation, I was like afraid people was like gonna like track me down and like just like harass me and do something crazy. Like, cause you just don't know. Like, I've learned from that job, it's like people care about cars, their kids, and their money and like their health. So it's like I don't want to go in any of those industries where it's like you're responsible for the care and the maintenance of all that. So it's like too much for me. So that was around like 20, like summer 2023. And so I was in a real like deep depression. I was like, what's the point of doing anything? I'm just like, I'm always going to be struggling with money. I don't have enough. I'm not like smart at that time. Like I know I'm not capable enough to hold down a job that is gonna pay me well because I'm always dealing with some type of like health thing or like have low energy or I'm always struggling with just keeping up with people and stuff. And so I knew I loved service and serving people, so I joined like a council to kind of find a way to get connected back into my community, find people that were like minded and that were also service minded. That did not go the way I planned, and it did not kind of pan out. But at the time, it was helpful because I was just like, I just need something to do so that I can feel useful and like of service to people. And so during that time, I still wasn't really drawing a lot. Um, I was still like really depressed. But I found this illustrator, this children's book illustrator and author, Miriam Poppins. If you check her out on Instagram, you'll find her, Miriam Poppins. Actually, I'll probably just link her in the video. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, Miriam Poppins. And I learned from her. Um, she had a paper collage, like it's like a collage class because she does digital collage. So she had a traditional collage class, and I was like, that sounds fun. I love her art style. Her art is very expressive and emotive, and I wanted to do something that has made me feel like safe again. Art's always like been there for me, and then I always felt safe drawing, and I felt safe creating, and I just wanted to like connect back to that part of me that was never like up for debate. It was like I'm always gonna be drawing and creating art, writing. Like I'm just very expressive and creative in that way. So I took her class. I absolutely loved it. I don't think she'll ever watch my videos. Like, thank you, because you're awesome for having made that class. It was great. And so I started drawing again. I had this idea because I was already in a cohort of artists and illustrators with Larissa Brown. She's a Disney fine artist. She's worked on the Rugrats. She animated Chucky. She did all this like amazing stuff. She's great. You can find her Larissa Brown. She just published a book recently, Blake Laser, a children's book. So definitely check that out. It's really good. But I was already in that cohort with these people, and I had this idea for a. I didn't know if it was going to be a comic. I didn't know if it was going to be a novel. I didn't know if it was going to be like I don't know. I didn't know what it was going to be. I just knew I didn't have the capacity to be writing prose all day, and I was also afraid. I had already worked on the Dark Horse comic, this one, for the Climate Keepers, and but I was still afraid to like create characters because I I don't look like a typical like black or Asian woman, Like I have this different look to me. I'm Asian, I'm mixed. So I was like, people are gonna be rude. They're gonna be like, oh, you're not representing things the right way. All this like stuff, right? All this noise. But I took her class, and something about how she taught got me inspired. So I started looking up people like I had gone to like the bookstore. I love this one. Like Gustav Klimt. I started like looking up Gustav Klimt. Like I just got it's a heavy book and I started reading from his work. And then I started reading about AirTag. I got this book about AirTag. I have so many tags on it because I love this book. And I learned that, these guys were looking at like my people's art, like the Indian side, the Arabs, Muslims, the black people. They're looking at our stuff. I was like, okay. So I went in that direction, right? And so I started looking at that art and having taken her class. And let me show you what this one looks like. This is my this is the first illustration that I graded. This is a print. I made this on canvas 24 by 24. No, sorry, 18 by 20 canvas. This is what I first did once after I took her class. This took me about a year to finish. But the moment I made this, everything just felt like so amazing. I wasn't afraid about how I was going to represent the characters. I wasn't afraid about, oh, you're not diverse enough. Because at that time, I was like considering pitching to like publishers for like a kid's book or just like, pitching the Dark Horse again for this idea. And I was just like, you know what? I I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I at that time, I just want to make stuff. Like I don't think children's books is what I want to do. It's still a lot of work. It's just so much steps. You'll get rejected. You're not like quite sure. if you're actually going to make the cut. But I did the pitching process and everything because that's what I learned when I was in OC Art Studio, which is Larissa Brown's like online school that she trains illustrators and animators and children's book authors to like have the skills that we need to be in the industry. But like I made this, right? And it was just so simple, but I was like everything started coming out from there. So this is the one that I first made, and there's actually a print of this. There was a print of it in the Fox Tower in Portland during like their Black History Month. Or not Black History Month, Black Excellence exhibit. It wasn't during Black History Month though. And so this is like a print that I made and I actually donated it to an eating disorder foundation in Colorado. So like yeah, that was a part of their like auction and stuff. And so yeah. This is the second one that I ever made after that first one. And this is the Sela, she's the younger sister, and Yame's the older sister. And it's everything kind of just like came out after this first one. This was only a year, and then they started to come out a little easier and easier. I would actually do like live painting, and so I would record the process. And I don't think I ever posted these on YouTube because I didn't have my YouTube channel at the time. And this is actually on my other YouTube channel, Nakia Shades Masala Fiction Dramas. So all the art and stuff correlates to that channel and like the drama. But as I was doing this, I was like, I think I just want to make an audio drama. So I started learning more about like micro dramas and audio dramas and just how to like use your art to tell a story. So from there, on the back of my wall here, I have like all of these cards that you see and this poster that I got printed. So that's where like all this art just kind of came from that one experience. And so I'm just grateful that I found collage then and I wanted to share that like love with everybody else. So I started teaching around 2023 as well. I started with like libraries in my community, and then I branched out to community organizations like the Research and Nordic Northwest, and then in Marketplace, a couple other places. And it was just great. I was able to connect with my community members. It was something that helped me get over dealing with a lot of the professional stuff, getting like removed from situations and spaces where I just didn't really like being in those spaces. Like removing myself, not being removed, but removing myself from professional spaces that just were not healthy for me. And I was able to give service and I was able to make profit at the same time. So that was really cool. And so after some time, I was like, hey, this was around the time last year. Like, I really want to just put this online for people because I don't know if everyone can like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to like reach people the way I want to, just being in person. So I wanted to present this online as a school community and as a YouTube channel so people could find collage. They didn't have to come to Oregon to do it. You could just be online and you could learn it. And so that's kind of how I started this channel, and then why I started the 5-day collage challenge, the winter version, which we started in winter of last year, and then the spring version, which we're happening tomorrow. And check the chat. Give me 1 second. Let me grab some like coffee or some tea, not coffee, chai. So I just really enjoyed being able to put that experience online for you guys. And our spring challenge starts tomorrow. So if you've never made collage before, if you don't know anything about collage, you're just like, what? Like, that sounds cool, but I'm not an artist. I'm not creative. I don't know anything about collage. And honestly, like, I don't think in that way. The way I've taught over 500 students in Oregon and across Oregon and Washington. I make things very intuitive. I make things logical, and I make it simple. And I've learned to add more of like hand holding to the process for like people that have never even known this before. So on like the first day, you get your buzzword that is what you use for the entire collage, the 5 days of collaging. So it's a word that you can use to like anchor you in your collage during those 5 days. And then we learn about like collage bases, which we use in this class. You can use whatever you have on hand. If you have like cereal boxes or just cardstock, gift bags, even envelopes, all of that stuff you can use. And I also sell like kits as well, that you could purchase if you wanted to, or you can just use whatever you have. So you definitely have like options there. You also learn about like cutting paper and tearing paper. I really introduced those sort of things because I've had students in the past that had mobility issues or just weren't able to cut paper. And so adding paper tearing in there was a great way to like solve that problem for those students, and it went around really well. So you do paper cutting, you do paper tearing, and then you also learn about mark making, which is doodling and using words. You can write words, you can cut words, you can use stamps. There's all types of ways that you can do this, and it's a lot of fun. So on the first day, you're like already in it to win it. Like you already can learn like the real basic stuff in the first day. Then the second day, we learn about like design ideas, really simple, really basic, intuitive design ideas so that you can create a collage that looks good, even if you don't know what that might look like. And we also learn about composition. So we learn about composition. So again, you can make a really intuitive collage without knowing a lot about design or photography or composition. Like what's composition? What is that? It's basically something that looks good, that looks balanced, that looks comfortable to your eye, and that you want it to just feel it feels good to the viewer to look at. Then we talk about storytelling because I have authored comics before. I create masala dramas. So there's a bit of that storytelling aspect in there, storyboarding aspect in there, a little bit of like comic making, just storytelling in like a visual way. So you can use like your memories, you can use the fantasy, you can mix those together. It's a lot of fun. I've gotten a lot of cool like memoir style collage from students. I call it comic collage. So you go into a little bit of a comic collage. And then on day 4, we go a little bit deeper into comic collage. Day 3 is just like you have an idea and you just want to tell a simple story. But comic collage on day 4, it's like, okay, I really want to like this collage to represent this scene or this idea in a really like concrete way. And day 5 is just we share. We share the story behind the collage. You share your progress photos. You can make a video to share. You can post your video on YouTube. You can post your video on your Instagram. Um, simple stuff. Simple stuff that's fun. There's no pressure. A lot of people in the community, in our like community or like our space, like never done collage before. And even me, like I'm new to collaging too, but I've been doing art and storytelling for a long time professionally. So I'm able to offer insight and feedback into like the story of your collage, into the visual idea of your collage. So I'm only there to be like your guide on this adventure of collage. I'm here to just guide you and give you like a cool place to hang out with people from all over the world. So I'm going to answer some like frequently asked questions. If anybody has any questions, you can ask me. You can write in the chat as well if you're interested. So one of the questions that I get is like, I don't know anything like am I an artist? Can I still join? Yes. In fact, I'll share with you what this looks like because I believe I have it sitting right here. We have this one color, one emotion collage warm up. And so with this warm up, this is for complete beginners. This is something that we started doing last like winter, and it's been great. This has been able to help students who have like no idea how to put, anything on the page. A student recommended this in one of the classes, and I was like, this is great. Let's start with this. So it's one color, it's one motion, collage warm up. So it's literally exactly what it sounds like. You pick a color, you pick an emotion, and then you make a collage about it. In the classroom of the school community, I have this PDF that you can use in the classroom. You can share with us here. Let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, in the classroom, we have it here so that you can share and participate. You download the PDF, you complete the exercise, and then you share in the classroom with everybody else, or in the community with everybody else. It's pretty cool. It's really like it's so much fun, and I also have a video that goes with it that I made that you guys could watch and like follow along, so that you have an idea for your color and your emotion. Then you kind of just go with what with that what feels good to you. It's only like an hour long exercise or less. If you don't do it in an hour, that's fine. But it's just something to give you some kind of a win, pretty much, so that you can really have fun and not feel so overwhelmed. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into questions. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to like ask me in the chat, and I will answer. Cool. So some people ask, is this challenge 5 days or 8 weeks? So this challenge, the the 5 day collage challenge, refreshes every 8 weeks. So like every quarter, you'll get a new challenge. You get like six challenges in the year, I believe. And so every 8 weeks, you get a new challenge, or every 2 months. So this challenge runs live for 5 days. So like the energy is super high in the first 5 days. You can post, I'll respond, I'll give you some feedback, you can ask questions about your collage. But after the 5 days, what happens after 5 days? I'm still there. I'm still active. You just things kind of slow down a little bit, and people can still be active. You can still participate. There's nothing wrong with that. So you're good. It lasts for like 8 weeks, pretty much about 2 months. So, a question people ask is like, am I building one collage all week? Yes, you build one collage over the challenge, over the 5 days. So yeah, you build one collage, and each day, the question is, are you experimenting daily, or is this like something that you do like little by little? This challenge builds on itself every day. So you learn one new thing or two new things every day, and it builds up on itself. You do little experiments throughout the day on the same collage. So like I mentioned, paper tearing or paper cutting, or mark making. Those are all little experiments that you're doing throughout the week. There's So another question I get is like, when do I glue? For a lot of people that make collage, this happens so much when I had students in person class in Oregon. They're like, okay, but like I'm afraid to glue this stuff together. Like it's just like this permanence of glue. Don't be afraid of the glue stick, guys. I thought I had a glue stick around here somewhere. I don't have any of my supplies out for demo. I have other like temporary paint sticks and things like that. But pretend this is a glue stick. Don't be afraid of the glue stick. It can't hurt you. It's just glue, and it's washable with water and soap. So don't be afraid of the glue stick. But it's like the permanence of the glue. So what I try to teach everyone is you can explore throughout the whole process. You don't have to glue anything down in the first 3 or 4 days. The fifth day is when you can really just glue things down. When you feel like you've got to know your materials and you have that buzzword, and it's like you've been supporting you throughout the challenge, then you glue stuff down. There is a supply list if you're really the type of person that's like, I want to do this right. Then you have a little supply list that you could use. But I always encourage everyone to like shop your stash at home. Everyone has like an envelope or a cereal box, or like a manila folder, or even a gift bag, or an old greeting card that you can use to make collage. You don't need to base spending, hundreds of dollars at your craft store. Just use whatever you got at home. So if you don't have these supplies, I don't have the supplies, am I underprepared? No, like you can just shop at home. You don't even need, this is a temper paint stick. You don't need temper paint sticks if you don't have them. I do offer collage kits for purchase. So if you're interested in something like that, it has all the materials that we typically use in my in-person classes. Things like temper paint sticks, things like acrylic markers. Actually, let me go ahead and grab it for you guys. Mm-hmm. This is the cut and create, the Cool Storytellers cut and create paper collage kit. So you could purchase these. It's like $40, and it has all the materials in there: acrylic markers, temper paint, washi tape, stamps, glue, glitter, not glue, glitter. I'll tell you why it doesn't have glue in a second. Rhinestones, gems, cowrie shells, fabric scraps, all the papers your heart can desire, all in here. So you could buy something like that. It starts at $40. I do local delivery for free in the Washington County area. So if you live in Oregon, you live in Washington County, I'll just deliver it to you for free. And there is like shipping involved with it as well. So if you're like out of the state, then we'll have to figure something out there for you. But it's not hard to do. It's shipping and everything isn't hard to do at all. And so yeah, so that you could use something like that. You can use whatever you have at home. You don't have to like go out of your way to, you know, make this work for you. It's supposed to be a fun challenge. It's supposed to be something that you can just enjoy and not get too bogged down by that kind of like specifics. What if I use the wrong glue? Most glue works for paper collage. I've used stuff like, where I wonder if it's around here. Mm-hmm. And I don't have it on me this second, but it's like tacky glue. You can use tacky glue. You can use like Elmer's school glue. Any kind of glue would typically work. Typically with like fabric, you want something a little stickier though. But just your normal school glue is fine. And the reason I don't include glue in these kits is because some people have latex allergies. I've had students in the past that have latex allergies, and like one student in particular, he could not use any glue at all, and so I had to like be like find him a special glue, and he had to wear gloves and all this stuff. So I was like, hey, we're not putting glue, we're not putting scissors because some people have mobility issues, and scissors can be kind of hard to find. Everyone has different mobility things. Some people can't cut. Some people have to use like a kind of scissors that's like a like self-cutting kind of scissors. There's all these other things. I was like, just we're just not gonna put scissors, not gonna put glue. It's gonna be all the cool stuff that you get in there. Another question that I get is, I want like it's a mindset thing, right? Like, people want to do this right, and the best way that I say when it comes to collage is you discover what right is as you make the collage. So you can come into it with like this idea, this vision in your head for like, oh, I want to make a collage this way. But most of the time, it's gonna look very different from what you thought. And that's the whole point of collage, is that you can discover like what a collage needs to look like. And I think that's where people think that people that are creative is like, you already know what it's gonna look like in your head. Not always. And that's the whole point of collage, that you get to discover how the materials work together, how something looks, like how the glitter looks next to the acrylic markers, how you want to layer the paper on the page. I've had students, also, I'll probably share some of that with you guys too. I've had students that have never made collage before and were just like completely stoked when it came to the creating of this collage. Let's see here. This is Jessica. She created a collage based around family memories and like her experiences moving, and it was just turned out really cool. She had never made collage like this before, and so she loved like how loose things were, the structure of things. It was easy for her to like get into the collage and just have fun. So that could be you. Like maybe you just have this idea and you just want to express yourself and you need a little bit of guidance. Like that's what you could do with this kind of collage. In our class, you can come in with just having an idea, and then you can explore it with the medium of collage. This student, she had never made collage before either, but she just knew that she liked to use the materials. She really was excited about all the materials that she's able to use and just being able to create something at the end of the class. She was there for a couple classes, but she was able to make something in like two classes and she had a lot of fun. She really enjoyed being able to make her collage and it turned out beautiful. Like it was just so expressive and so full of wonder. Like it was great. And she had never done collage like this before. As another student, she was dealing with transitions in life, newly retired, and she wanted a fun way to connect and kind of symbolize the transition in life that she was dealing with. And so she loved the collage class. She was able to just tear paper, mark make on her canvas board and just have fun. She really enjoyed the experience. It was something that gave her some new ideas in how to express herself, and it was something that she could symbolically represent her retirement and her transition into just being a retiree. And this is another student. She had some experience with collage, but she never had experienced collage the way I taught it. And she just felt like each class was a chance to play and have fun. And her collages were beautiful. She actually brought some of her own like materials. She had done this before in the past, but she had not done it the way I had taught it. And she found something new. So even for like complete beginners, people that never collaged, or people that have some experience, everyone's always found something new in how I teach. And so that's been pretty cool. So they and everyone came with a different mindset. It was cool to see that these ladies, I call them aunties. So like all the aunties found something new or something that was not previously explained, like a new way. The way I teach, just exploration. They did not have that kind of collage. It's like, well, I never taught, I never learned collage this way before. I was like, good, you get to you get to have an adventure every time you come to class. That's basically what it was. Another question that I get is, what if mine looks bad? If you're new to collage, it may not look like how you imagined at first, but that's part of like the process. And you just keep going because you'll be surprised by the end of the class. You've learned so many new skills. It's gonna be something cool. Some people are like, okay, I want to watch everything first. You can totally watch all 5 days of videos first before you start. There's nothing wrong with that. And then just start like on the sixth day. Maybe you want to watch one video every day and then just absorb all the information. You can do that too. We'll still be in the community. I'll be there still for those whole 2 months, just in the community, answering questions, supporting you, cheering you on, and giving you any kind of encouragement that you need. Some people have asked me, I kind of mentioned this before, like, where did I learn collage? What was my background? So I'll tell you again. So I'm a Dark Horse Comics author and artist, and a 2022 America's Next Great Author semifinalist. I'm also a mixed media and paper collage artist, and I partner with nonprofits, with corporations, with community organizations, and government agencies as a creative contractor. I also do like educational kind of like consulting, and I also do like speaking stuff, not just on YouTube, mostly on YouTube, but working on doing more like speaking stuff um, with like different kind of colleges and things like that. Just talk about art and how artists can be fed artists and not starving artists. I publish my own and produce my own masala fiction dramas on YouTube, which is Nakia Shade's Masala Fiction Dramas, which is where all this art is from, that drama, on my YouTube channel, and I can share it with you guys. and you can watch it on YouTube. It's for like older teens and adults, so it's something that's been going on for the last year or so. I've been working on that drama, and then I've been like mentored and sponsored through different artists like Larissa Brown and Kaylee Cleveland, who I've been mentored by and sponsored by through their teachings and their support. Yeah, and I just teach through my company. I teach collage at community-based organizations and nonprofits and corporations, like corporate kind of like team building stuff. So yeah, it's kind of like who I am really. Slowly by layer, um, I've really deepened my understanding of how collage can really help my community and be of service. And I'm a Rotarian also, so um, being Rotarian is like service organization, so we do a lot of stuff like that, and so being able to like combine collage and art and that together is really cool. Okay, I want to be mindful of our time together, so we have like 5 minutes left, and so I want to just answer any other questions that you guys might have. Okay. Another question. I think that I've got. I think I went over this one already, actually, but let's double check. Let's double check. Oh, you might be asking when does this start? I mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. April 17th. Uh, I usually start the challenge at like noon, so like April 17th at noon Pacific Daylight Time, and so that's when the challenge officially begins. And we have our buzzword, and I'll be there helping you guys out, cheering you on, and there'll be other people as well. You can all kind of work together and create your collage on day one. And if you go to school, I left it in the chat, I believe. Yeah, the link is in the chat to the school community. You can go on there and you can kind of explore the whole community. It's open, so my community is public. So even if you don't have a school account, you can come in there and you can like look and see like what's happening and what we're doing right now. Actually, I'll make sure it's yeah, it's public, so you can go ahead and see it and look in there, like what we're doing and everything. And you can check out the classroom section where you can find that warm up, and then you'll see that the spring challenge is locked right now, so it's open to premium members, and or you could just purchase it straight up for like $97, or you can at the time of this recording $97, or you can purchase your membership, your premium membership, and you can just join that way. Either way, I think annual is better because then you'll just always be ready for the next challenge. So you'll be able to just join us in the summertime when that rolls around. Otherwise, yeah, that's kind of how you join, and you can share your collage process on Instagram. You can tag me on Instagram. You can tag my YouTube channel as well, or you can just post in the school community, and we'll just be able to see your progress and learn a bit more about what it is you do. I love to see everyone's collages and to kind of just um, get the energy going. It'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. I think everyone will have a lot of fun. The challenges are pretty cool. So if you're interested in joining the 5 Day Collage Challenge, you can click the link here. You can scan the QR code, or you can click the link in the chat, and that's how you can join. So I'll leave that up for the last couple minutes of our time together, and I'll also answer any questions as well. All right. So you can either scan the QR code or you can go into the chat and you'll find the link to our school community. So I'll answer a couple more questions. We'll be out of here in like less than a few minutes. So I just want to make sure I get to everyone's questions. So question people, so I don't have these supplies under repair. No, you can, like I mentioned before, you can shop your, like, I'm pretty sure if you have like junk mail, you could use junk mail for your collage. You can cut those words out. You can use the images. You can use the stamp on the back of an old postcard, or you can use a cereal box. You don't need to buy like a lot of stuff, and most of the things people have at home, so you don't need to do a lot of like preparation and like materials. There is a PDF in the classroom that has like supplies list, but it's really just to give you an idea of what you could use. You don't have to buy all these things. And there is a video in the class about like glues that you could use. There's another collage and crafter that does know more about that than I do. So I've linked that in below, and she explains it way better than I ever could because there's a lot of ins and outs to glue. It's a lot of fun. How do I join an upcoming challenge? So you can just register for the next one when it's announced. Like at the end, I actually already have that one. We're already working on that one right now. So that'll be planned out, and you can just register for that one. So you can join. So the idea is you could just be a premium member. You could pay annual, and then you can just join that. You'll always be up to date on the challenges because you'll already have access to them. Or you could just pick one challenge that you want at a time, stick to your freemium membership, and then just join the challenge. That way, like just you just want to pick spring, or you just want to pick summer. You don't want to be for all the challenges. You do it that way. Or again, you can pay at a monthly basis as well. So you could just pay every month. But I think annual is better because you're locked into that whole year. So you'll be able to join us and you won't have to worry about like, oh well, I missed this, or oh I don't know. Like you could just do it that way. I think that's a little simpler. What if I use the wrong glue and ruin it? Yeah, most glues work for paper collage, so you can use whatever you have. But I do have recommendations in the classroom about there's a YouTube video by another crafter and collage artist, and she explains like perfect glue for your like paper crafting. So she explains it better than I could. She's really skilled. She's been doing crafting and collaging for a long time. So she knows a lot. How do I know my collage is done? You'll know when you feel like it's done. You don't have to add anything else. That's like the best way I can explain it. When you feel like, oh, okay, this is done. Like I feel like this is complete, and you'll know that because it's like you're building your creative confidence. Like you'll know if it's done because you can look at it and you'll have built that skill of like recognizing if the collage feels done, if it looks done. You'll just know. You'll have a better understanding about it at the end of the 5 days. What if mine looks bad? So, like, if you're new to collage, it's definitely not going to turn out how you have it in your brain. Like, it's going to look different, but you'll get to learn about the materials that you're using. You'll get to understand how to combine them together. You'll learn about how you want to mark mark up your paper, and how you want to layer things together, and if you think it's a good fit to have everything layered together. So I think it's just you don't have that confidence yet. So you're feeling a bit like uncertain or you're like overthinking it, but you just haven't you just don't know about your collage yet, you know what I mean? So you'll learn more about your collage as you keep going and as you get to know your materials. And the buzzword will help you to get to know your materials also, because then you'll start thinking about like how you could want to literally explore that prompt, or like if you have a little story, like do the comic collage, you can be like, oh, I have this idea for this little story. Then you can be like, this collage or this material can represent this character, or this material can represent that person. So, yeah, it's something that you just have to like build that trust and that relationship with your materials. I don't usually do collage like this. I was expecting something different. Yeah, no, that's I get that a lot. um, I teach this in a way where it's intuitive, where it's logical, where you get to build your confidence up every day that you're in the challenge. So it's not just like do this. It's not paint and sip. You know, we're not. This is not paint and sip. If you're expecting paint and sip, this is not paint and sip. You are gonna have a relationship with your materials, relationship with your creativity. And at the end, you're gonna be like, I can't believe I made this. Wow. You know, I've had students that were just like, I'm a gardener and I don't think like this. I'm like, well, your collage can be like the garden bed and the materials are like the seeds. And so you're just planting the seeds in a way that looks good. Or, you want to plant tomatoes. So you could literally get a picture of a tomato. You could create a tomato out of paper. And you could draw a big red circle or whatever. There's so many ways. I get all types of people think about this, but at the end, even the people that were super afraid of collage in my class, the aunties are like, wow, I can't believe I made this. So, that's totally okay. And if you feel like it was something that you wanted to like be a bit different about, you can just follow the structure as written. Or you can adjust it to match your like collaging preferences. It's all good. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up. So again, you can join the 5-day collage challenge. This is the QR code to sign up. And other than that, that's all for today. Thanks so much for joining me on this kickoff call. You can definitely connect with me on my school community. You can subscribe. We have about 20 some odd subscribers right now. Let's check. With 22 subscribers for the channel, join us and be the next subscriber in our cool collage club or collage community. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow in the school community classroom. If you have any questions between then and now, reach out to me on Instagram, reach out to me at the comments of this video. Let me know what you're excited about for collage, what your experience is with collage. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the community.